Hey guys, so I just wanted to do a very quick comparison here between Sony Xperia XZs and the XZ phones, because I think some people might be wondering, is it worth it to upgrade here to the super slow XZs in terms of the camera technology, or is it not much of an upgrade? We're going to find out here, so let's just start up at the same time. And some people pointed out when unboxing the XZs, they did notice like some light bleed here, up here, and I've started to notice it as well. And it's particularly strange as we didn't get it with the XZ, so maybe that could be just my model. If we just zoom in close here, if my camera will focus, you can definitely see some light bleed up there. Which is a bit disappointing. These phones aren't cheap, obviously, about 500 to 600 euro, the XZs, depending where you get it from. But in terms of the other stuff, we can have a look at the differences here. So you can see we get a slightly more up-to-date Sony kind of skin, which does give you some new widgets, etc., which do take some time to update, I've noticed actually. They have actually recently upgraded the XZ to Android 7.1.1, which is actually quite good, because usually Sony's a bit slow when it comes to the software updates, but you can see we are running the latest Android patch level, which they don't have the same kind of widgets as the new XZs, which is a bit annoying, but it's good that they are keeping it up to date. Nevertheless, obviously the other major change is the super slow video recording ability, which you will find here, like a button that you can put that on when you go into the camera setting. So that's a nice addition, but everything else, I think the actual sensor is slightly different as well. Looking into the actual specifications of it, you do get like a manual mode here, which you can put on stuff, but you can see they're doing 17 megapixel now in the widescreen mode, versus like 20, well, you had 19 as the 4:3 and you had 20 as the 16:9. So they definitely changed the sensor here, the underlying one. But from some of the reviews I have looked at, the actual low light performance is still off the mark compared to the competition, unfortunately, but there are some differences nevertheless in terms of the camera. So we're going to have a look at the performance here nevertheless. We have updated everything and see if the extra gig of RAM does help in terms of the performance. So let's just zoom in a little bit. So you can see the XZs does seem to be a little bit snappier here, generally. Maybe they've done some upgrades underlying it as well, such as the storage, which is obviously very important when it comes to the performance here. And I gotta say, it definitely feels like the XZs is the snappier device here overall, which is good. Let's just open up some games. In fact, let's open up music. There you go again. Let's have a look here. That light bleed is pretty ugly at the top, I've got to say. And you can certainly notice it on like this red background. Whoa. Let's have a look at this one. Strange face zombie thing. Yeah, you can see XZs is loading pretty much everything here, that little bit snappier. I think this one's going to load. Well, in fact, this one's actually loading the same, pretty much. You can see this little ball of grass is the loading meter, which I didn't notice before. That's pretty cool. Well, the XZs did win again, which is good. And I think we have some other games. Let's try GTA. Go. So that's pretty much identical. And finally, Modern Combat. So I think I'm satisfied here that I can see a performance difference. Not a huge one, but still, you know, it is a little bit faster here for those of you who want to know. We're going to have a look at the speed of the Wi-Fi. So they are on the same one. And I've always been impressed with Sony's score when it comes to getting the most out of my bandwidth. They're very good actually, but the XZs should be an improvement based upon what I've seen. So you can see there's definitely some unpublicized improvements with the XZs. I'm thinking that they've improved the storage and the antennas here, because you know that is a flagship level score nevertheless, and a definite improvement. Have they improved the multitasking? That is you know, something here, because we do have 4 gigs of RAM now. And as you can see, it's looking very good compared to the XZ, which I think should have come with 4 gigs of RAM considering it launched for about €600. But it's not infallible. You can see there's definitely some reloads still on the XZs, but it just generally seems to be much snappier and quicker to go back into it overall. And you can see it keeps the game in memory here, no problem. And this one, advert. So I think it's keeping the game in memory again there. So I'm very satisfied here with the performance of the XZs being a huge upgrade from the old XZ. But am I satisfied in terms of the rest of the stuff? I'd say Sony can do better. You know, they definitely should have kept the Snapdragon 35 and put it in the smaller devices, because not everyone wants a big phone, you know, and if you want the latest cutting edge screen, you're gonna have to get the XZ Premium. Whereas it would have been nice if they'd have followed the compact model that they used to do, like having the flagship in every size. So that's a little bit disappointing. But if you're just like looking for a phone here and you're looking to jump on Sony, I definitely recommend the XZs. You know, it's got good overall performance, and you know, it'll give you a good experience overall. But I definitely think you know, the XZ, now it's cheaper, it's probably better value for money overall, because you know, you're getting pretty much the same thing here, and it's, you know, probably going to be a bit more affordable at the moment. But overall, if I was going to be you, I'd say try and get the XZ Premium, because it's coming with so much more, like 4K display, Snapdragon 835, bigger battery, etc., and generally good reviews I've seen. So yeah, just a quick little comparison here, Sony Xperia XZs versus XZ. If you got any questions, do let me know. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.